Most people aren't being themselves. They're repeating a version of themselves they got used to. And the scary part? They call that authenticity. But what if the thing you believe is you is actually the exact reason your life isn't changing? You probably heard it your whole life. Just be yourself. Sounds good, feels safe, and it feels right. But what if that advice is the reason you feel stuck in conversations, stuck in your habits, and stuck in the same life you've had for years? Here's the truth no one says. Being yourself only works if who you are is actually working. And if it's not, then blindly staying the same might be the most dangerous thing you can do. So in this video, I want to break something down that most people never question and show you why letting go of who you think you are actually might be the fastest way to reclaiming who you actually was supposed to be. And trust me, this changes everything once you see it. I used to have a friend back in high school that I don't talk to as much anymore. He used to just say to himself, yeah, I'm just a quiet guy. So at parties, he would always stand in the corner and barely speak to anyone. Most people find it hard to speak to girls in particular, but Marcus, he had a problem speaking to anyone. But Marcus, he wasn't miserable. He just had a story that made him think it was okay. Like, this is just my identity, and I'm just simply not good at connecting with people. And that sentence that he said to himself, that I'm just a quiet guy, was locking his entire life into one place. Because every time he had a chance to do something differently, his brain stepped in and said, this isn't you. So he stayed quiet, he stayed safe, and he didn't evolve, he just stayed the same. Year after year. Not because he couldn't change, but because he believed he shouldn't. This is the trap. Your identity becomes a script, and you start acting it out without realizing. You're not being yourself, you're just being consistent. Here is something uncomfortable. You're not your personality. Your personality is just a collection of patterns you've repeated enough times that they started to feel like you. Think about it. There was a time you didn't overthink. There was a time you didn't feel awkward. And there was a time you just didn't hesitate. So what changed? You learned behaviors and then you identified with them. And once you labeled something as who I am, you stopped questioning it. Marcus, he didn't become quiet overnight. He had moments where he spoke up and felt judged, or where he said something and it didn't land. His brain adapted and he connected staying quiet with being safe. And over time, that became his identity. And it wasn't truth, it was adaptation. Here's where it gets deeper. Being yourself often means staying comfortable. Because let's be honest, when you're saying this is who I really am, what you really mean is this is just what feels familiar. And familiar, it feels safe. But being safe doesn't grow you, it doesn't challenge you, and it doesn't change your life for the better. Think about the last time you wanted to say something in front of a group, but you didn't. That was not you being yourself. That was you protecting a version of yourself that avoids risk. And every time you do that, you reinforce it. So what actually changes everything? Not becoming a new person, but realizing this, you're not your patterns, but you're the one who is choosing them. Marcus had moments like this. Same situation, group, conversation, silence. Same feeling, heart racing, thoughts spinning. Just don't say anything stupid. But this time he paused, and instead of thinking, is this me? He asked, what would the version of me I want to become do right now? And he spoke, not perfectly, not smoothly, but he just did it anyway. And nothing crazy happened. No rejection, no disaster, just movement. And the moment everything starts to change is when you stop asking the question, is this who I am? And instead ask the question, is this who I want to become? Here is the final truth most people avoid. You do not find yourself. You build yourself. And building requires change, which means you will have to act in ways that feel unnatural at first. You will feel fake, awkward, and out of place. But that is not a sign that you're doing something wrong. That's a sign that you're stepping out of the script you have put in your own head. Here is something simple you can actually apply the next time you hesitate, and the next time you feel the pull to stay the same. Pause and ask yourself, am I acting from who I've been or the guy I'm trying to become? That one question can slowly rewire everything. Your confidence, your social skills, and your life direction. Because at the end of the day, being yourself is not the goal. Being someone you're proud of is. And that requires letting go of the version of you that's been keeping you comfortable but stuck. So the next time you say, this is just who I am, ask yourself one thing. Is that true? Or is that just who I've been?